Hey guys, welcome back. For those of you who know me, you may know that I'm a big film snob. I love watching all sorts of movies. So once in a while, I would challenge myself to watch an art house or independence movie that nobody talks about. And recently, I saw some really good reviews on My Cousin Rachel. I didn't know anything about this movie, so it's a perfect choice for me. I've seen some independence movies these days, such as Gifted uh, by Chris Evans, which is a really good movie, The Lost City of Z, which is the most underappreciated movie of the year. But unfortunately, My Cousin Rachel was good, but not as good as these two movies. Now, I really didn't know anything about this movie other than the fact it was based on a really famous book, something you might have read in your high school English class. Now, funniest thing, when I came to the cinema, there was a line for Wonder Woman and even for Mummy. But when I came to see My Cousin Rachel, look at the pictures. There's no one in the theater. And the marketing is also really lazy. Usually on the cinema where the movies play, they have posters, but here they don't even have a poster. So I guess there's not a high demand for this movie, which is a shame because it is better than some of the movies that's been playing in theater right now. Way better. So the movie is about a young man, Philip, played by Sam Coffin, who suspected that his cousin, who raised him as from an orphan, was murdered by his wife, Rachel. However, after meeting Rachel, he fell in love with her and he wasn't sure if she is really the murderer or if there's something else happening. The movie played out as one of those classic mystery romantic movies. It has a really classical tone to it and felt like a movie made in the 50s. The biggest strength of this movie is its cinematography. If you're a film student, it will be a field day for you. There's a lot of low-angled, wide-angled shots, and usually most of the shots are taken with very long takes. The use of color, the environment are amazingly beautiful. The film made a lot of clever use of close-ups and some handheld moments to tell stories and to emphasize emotions. I wouldn't be surprised if this movie wins an Academy Award for the best cinematography because it is one of the best use of cinematography I've seen in any movie, at least for this year. The cinematographer in this movie gave this movie a lot of layers. And once you've seen this movie, you will know what I'm talking about. There are some close-up, the clever use of blurs. It's absolutely fantastic. The acting for this movie is also top-notch. Sam Calvin and Rachel Weisz give one of their best performances, especially from Sam Calvin. The only role I knew him from was from Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. He plays similar type of character, some young guy who is madly in love with another woman, but here it is done much, much better. I think he gave the best performance of this movie. He felt like somebody who doesn't know much about women. There's a sense of innocence and passion in his acting, and it felt coming from the heart. So I found it to be very effective, and I found his character to be extremely convincing. He is easily the best part of this movie. Now, Rachel Weisz, he did give a really great performance, on par or sometimes even better than Sam Calvin. But I think it's the direction of the character that's kind of suffered. She's supposed to be more complex, but she came out to be more manipulative than she intended to be, which kind of influenced the plot a little bit because we're supposed to be always in the shadows, not knowing if she is responsible for the murder or not, which is the same message in the book. But here, we are always given the impression that she is the murderer, while in actual fact, we don't know that. I felt like the movie is pretty strong in the beginning and in the second act, and towards the end, it's kind of lost interest for me. Still, I enjoyed this movie quite a bit. If you're a fan of the book, or if you just like any classical art house movies, then this is the film for you. If you're not interested in this genre, definitely check it out as well because it is a breath of fresh air from all these blockbuster movies. Even with its flaws, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I would give this movie a 7 out of 10 for sure. It is still in theaters. If you have a chance, check it out. This is a pretty good movie in my opinion. Again, don't waste your time on Mummy because it is not a good movie by any measure. If you really want to watch a horror themed movie, watch It Comes at Night. I heard it was a really good movie. And if you want to watch a classic Universal monster movie with modern quality, I would suggest 1992's Francisco Coppola's Dracula movie. In my opinion, I think it is a very underrated horror classic, and I might do a review on it someday. Have you seen My Cousin Rachel or read the book? What do you think of it? Please leave a comment below. And as always, if you think I'm good, you're pretty good too.